Good evening, Eyenika.
Good evening.
Clearly.
Whatever.
You
Yes,
can hear me
I can.
clearly. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for agreeing to do this with me. Please, if you are with us, kindly confirm that you can hear us very well before we begin. Gift, can you hear us? Please drop a comment so that we can start.
I can hear you.
I just want one of
Be well. Okay. You're breaking up.
just to be double sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess
Okay.
okay. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Wife of two lovely children. I'm a content
You're breaking up.
creator.
I think the network is playing up at the moment.
Is it okay?
Yes, it's slightly okay now. Let's see how we get on. But I think your voice was just cutting out.
Okay. This thing was introduction. I don't know if you heard me. Or do I need to start all over?
Please start all over because I didn't hear most of what you were saying.
Okay, so I said my name is Ofyong Basi Ekpiyong. I'm a lawyer, a wife, and mom of two lovely children. I'm also a content creator and owner of the Human Project with Fifi. And the Human Project is all about culture, people, and lifestyle, just basically maintaining a balanced view of life. And to our viewers today, we have a very interesting personality with us. And because this is a get to know you session, I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to allow him tell us his name. So we'll get the pronunciation right. So please, can you tell us your name and your current location?
Um, my official name is Angus Kadaña coming, but I prefer to go by Angus Kadaña. Um, if I want to include my Efik, yes, if I want to include my Efik tonation, there would be Angus Kadaña. I am
Kadaña.
current,
Okay.
I am currently in the UK.
Okay. All right. So the first time I knew about you, I saw a video of you vibing to and singing an Efik song. Not just any Efik. Are you really an Efik man? What's the connection? How is it that you're so white but you enjoy the culture even more than most of us? So are you really Efik?
Um, okay. I am maternally Efik. I was born in Calabar. I grew up in Calabar. Spent 23 years of my life in Calabar. So I prefer to express myself in Efik more than English. So when I am in Calabar, you hardly catch me speaking English. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay. is from the UK and your mom. So how come then you're bearing your maternal family name,
It is
the
from my
Kadang? I
mom's
believe
side.
that's from your mom's
Kadaña
side, right?
is my maternal name.
Okay, so why are you bearing your mom's family name instead
I
of your
have a double
dad's?
barrel surname, which is Kadaña Coming. So my dad's surname is Coming, my mom's
Oh,
surname is
right.
Kadana. But when I tend to introduce
Okay.
myself, because my family is well known in Calabar, so I just stop at Kadaña.
Okay. So let me dig in for your mom from.
My mom, bless her soul, she's late now. She was from Esri
Oh,
in
I'm so
Akbabu.
sorry about that.
That's all right. She
Akpabuyo
was from Esri in Akbabu. It used to
Isri
be known
in
as the
Akpabuyo.
Ikorenuyi in Akbabu. And in
It used to
Calabar,
be
we
known
are
as what?
from Ikorenuyi in Akbabu.
Okay, okay,
That's the village in
okay,
Esri. So Esri is
okay,
big and it's got little villages in it. So I am from Ikorenuyi. And in Calabar, we are from Bayside.
okay,
So we have a
okay.
family house. We have a family house in a Nendem Street, Calabar, which is in Bayside.
Interesting. So, that's serious. Bayside is like the real Calabar South. So that's amazing. Now, when I posted, when I posted the flyer, someone told me that he know not just someone, a couple of people.
Yep, that's correct. You're breaking up. I didn't catch that.
And me, I grew up around. Can you hear
Sorry,
me now?
your line broke up. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay. So I said someone said that he knows you. A couple of people said they know you. That you used to live around Foster by William George. And me, I'm surprised because I lived in Calabar South all the time I was in Calabar. As a matter of fact, I lived along White House and I have family around William George. I used to pass through Foster when I was in nursery school and secondary school. I used to pass there to Angeli and Evangel Nursery School. And I've never seen you. Maybe I did, but I didn't really take note. So did you live along or around Foster by William George?
I lived that. I lived and grew up at number 2 Foster Street, which is quite close to Foster by William George. The compound that's Foster by
Okay.
William George is number 10 William George. And after that compound, it's my compound, my
Is
family
it the
house.
is it the fenced compound with white upstairs with plenty of trees?
No, I think if I'm not mistaken, that would be Foster by Aboa. That would be the Dr. Ekpeme.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's Abua, that's not
Foster by
Foster.
William George
True.
has number 10 William George. Their entrance is actually on Foster Street rather than William George. So it's a compound, it's a first compound when you come up William George
Okay.
into Foster that you will find on your right hand side and
By the left,
by
okay,
the
by
right.
the right.
And after that one is where I was raised, where I grew up. I I think I think the network is playing up again. Say that again. You broke up.
Can you
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
okay? Is it
Yeah.
okay now? Is it okay
Yeah.
now? Okay, so you said you spent 23 years in Calabar. That would mean that you schooled, you did your primary education, your high school and university. So did you attend regular schools? Special schools in Calabar that we had white teachers. For instance, Hillside. So that was like one of the coolest schools back then. So did you attend regular schools or you went to those very posh, interesting schools back in the days?
No, I would describe the schools I went to as regular. I attended my late aunt owned the first international boarding nursery school in West Africa, and it was called Kadaña International School. That's the school I attended from reception up until when I wrote my first school living certificate
Oh,
exams. And I left there for government secondary school, Henshaw Town, which was a proper regular
okay.
school.
Interesting.
And then I finished.
Ah,
Um, I did left Henshaw Town briefly in my JS2 and went to Port Harcourt.
okay.
I attended University Demonstration Secondary School in Port Harcourt and then came back to Henshaw Town and started SS1 again and finished, complete my SSCE in Henshaw Town. And then moved to
Okay.
Polytech. Now I think it's QTech or University of Cultural State, I think, something on this. Calabar, yes.
Like back then.
And then whilst I was in Calabar,
Wow.
I'm
That's
sorry, whilst I was in Polycal, whilst I was in
no,
Polycal,
I'm listening. Go ahead, please.
when I was coming to
Mm.
the last term of my diploma program in statistics, I that was the time that my family decided that it was time to relocate back to England. So I left Polycal and just came to England.
Wow. That's your mom. That
My
is your
mom,
mom.
my dad, everybody involved in my upbringing.
So your dad was in Nigeria too.
My mom and dad met in Nigeria. My dad was he
Okay.
was the last managing director of Carlson Group. After his time, there was no other managing director.
Carlson.
There was only a manager and a director.
Interesting. So I'm blown away because you said your mom and your dad met in Nigeria.
Yeah,
So
in
your mom
Calabar.
had you in Nigeria and then eventually joined your dad. So you are you the only child?
No, on my dad's side, I'm the second child. On my mom's side, I'm the third child of four. On my dad's side, I'm the second of two.
So you
So my
okay.
dad and
So when you
mom,
were relocating, did you go with all your siblings, half
no, I did,
siblings,
I
everybody?
didn't, I didn't relocate as a child. So I spent 23
Okay.
years, and as time went on, as you would know, my mom and dad were no longer together. So life moved on. So I was still in
So
Nigeria, but then I was still in communication with my dad and things like that. And when I was in Polycal, I started putting pressure to leave Nigeria because, like most people would perceive, Nigeria is survival of the fittest. You have to be very strong to survive Nigeria and go through the ranks and files of seeking for job and etc. So at that point, I just thought, I think I started the pressure after I wrote my SSDE, but everything came to a peak in my last semester in Polycal, and that's when I left. So I didn't even complete my Polycal training.
but you went back to school after you relocated.
Yes, yes, yes. So I came back here and just did something completely different.
Okay. I was going to ask you whether there was ever a time you looked forward to leaving, but you already answered that because you said you started putting pressure and you left
Yeah,
and you joined your
I
dad,
can,
you abandoned your
I
program.
can, I can give you an insight to that. In Polycal, there was a period where we had to do IT, industrial training. And
Okay.
I went to Citizens Bank, the then Citizens Bank, and it was opposite Metropolitan Hotel.
Okay.
And I applied to do my IT there. And the manager was, then I used to braid my hair, I had long hair. The manager wasn't pleased to hire me with the long hair, so he wanted me to cut it off. So my mom wasn't pleased with that from that manager. And as a result, I was unable to do my IT. So you can see how that would have impacted
Wow.
my education. So
Yes.
things just started going up and down with education. And what has my hair really got to do with that? I don't understand a business from a business point of view, the image of the business and so on. But the manager could have come up plain to say that, but it seemed like he was more of trying to exercise certain level of authority than
A woman.
expressing. I think it was a man. Memory serves me right. The manager of Citizens Bank at the time.
Okay.
So so I think he was trying to exercise a level of authority, and but then if he had explained that it's to do with the image of the business, Like I've come to grow to know that the image of the business is very important. But he did say that he was more fixated on me having to cut my hair and look like every other member
Yeah.
of the staff.
Yeah, maybe her intentions weren't bad because I've worked in a bank before, and a lot of things that we did were regulated. We're not allowed to do colored hair. We're not allowed to wear, careless colors. We were, except for Fridays. So it might have been that she didn't have bad intentions, but she did not explain herself properly. Which brings me to my next question. Was there any time that you felt out of place? Because I do know that as black people, most black people feel uncomfortable around white people. Even here in Nigeria, I've been on a queue to enter an elevator. And normally that elevator is supposed to carry about 5 to 6 people. But they used to, pack us into the place without being worried about the elevator collapsing. But one time a white guy came and they cleared the elevator for him. E no be say e be important person, just regular white guy that just came there to do business, and they allowed just him to go in the elevator. And I said, even here in our own country. So I want to know, you now, being white, was there any time you felt out of place in school or in church or in family because of your skin color?
So many times all my life. Even when I visit
People picked
Calabar.
on you in school, right?
Yep, I've been
Did they call
bullied.
you names in school?
Yes, Mbakarabodi Korapiampai.
Ah.
Nandan Guru, you David, the whole lot. I've been called choice
Oh, that
names.
was
And
mean.
as I was growing up, it was difficult. As a young child, in my before I got into the double digits of age, it was quite difficult. But then I always went back to my mom. And my mom said, you need to learn how to retort. You need to learn how to respond. You need to respond back. Give them as much as they're giving to you. You understand? If they can dish it out, they should be able to take it as well. So
Yeah.
that's how I started becoming brave. I think that's a Nigerian in you. It needs to mold you. That's part of being
Yes,
Nigerian.
this place will mold you actually. This place will mold you. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting. So now someone said something. Let me read it to you. The person said Angus was secretary Akata, traditional group Calabar South, some decades ago. Akata. Is that true?
I don't know about being secretary Akata.
But
I don't
did
know
you used to
about
be
that.
Akata back here?
Yes, I am an initiate of Akata.
That's interesting. My dad is an initiate. My brothers are initiates. So I mean, when the person mentioned Akata, I said, no, be only Ekpe. This man he like Akata too. I mean, I'm very excited because even people who live here are gradually forgetting everything about our tradition. But you are so in love with the culture, even out there in your car, you're vibing to it without caring what anyone thinks. So when I heard
That
Akata, I said, no, I'll ask you.
in my family, if I must be honest, in my family, if not for me, my kid brother wouldn't have been initiated. So, barring my kid brother, I'm the only one that in my maternal family that's is an initiator of Akata.
And yet you have them back here and they're not doing
And they're
anything.
still
Oh
there.
wow.
Exactly. They're still there. So
Well
it's
done.
fun.
I must
It was
commend you.
thank you. It was a journey. Actually got my mom. I almost got my mom into trouble because I'm interested in all those traditional plays and I want to be an initiate. But then my mom said, you cannot because your dad is not from here. You cannot. So I thought, really? Okay. So at night
No,
I
I
would
said
listen to Akata.
I don't think the fact that your dad is not from here would
I,
can stop you from taking part. Your mom is from here, so yeah, you
I
can.
think my mom was trying to discourage, but I thought to myself,
Maybe
not
she
a
was
problem.
scared.
Most likely.
Maybe she was
So,
scared.
so what I did was at night I would stay awake and listen to Akata, and in the morning I'll start speaking like them. That got my mom into trouble. So some of the chiefs came around and said to my mom, you're going to get into trouble with this boy. So you need to bring the right.
Oh,
And then it was cool. It was cool. That's how I got initiated into it as well. I'll fabricate, I'll get the small tin of powdered pig milk. I'll boil a hole and put milk at the team and turn
and
around my
shake
waist
it.
and keep shaking. Baka, baka, baka,
Shake
baka.
it.
Yes. And then I'll carry a stick and a tea. And I say to my mom, yes, I'm playing it, but whether you like it or not, I'm playing.
That one is pure passion. Honestly, that's pure passion, and I really admire that. Well done. It's very interesting to know. So now, do you have a family there? Do you have kids? Are you married?
I was good question. Okay. I have three children,
Okay.
um, of which I have only one at home with me. I married
Okay.
a Calabar girl, and Sidon is and Sidon girl. Yep, she's from Sidon.
Before you relocated or you met her there?
No, no, no. We were dating. I met her in 1996. I married her in 2006. So we were dating for 10 years.
Okay.
So, but we started at a very young age. For those that start dating in their 20s and then the relationship goes into 10 years and they start shouting 10 years is too long. No, we started at, I think I was in SS3, she was in GS3 when we met.
Okay.
So you can imagine. So 10 years from there is not that a big deal, if you get my
Long.
point.
Yes. Yeah.
So I relocated to the UK and then came back to Nigeria, married her, and then brought her over to the UK. And as we know, for some people, without pointing fingers or blaming anybody, um, the UK knows how to change people and can make people behave in
True.
ways that they
True.
didn't expect and things like that. So it didn't work out. We went separate ways. So that's how the marriage broke down.
But at least you're co-parenting very well.
With the way the society is here, it makes it creates room for lots of restrictions depending on what one party is saying to the government and the authorities. And you get my point. And like, I live in a society where women's rights supersedes a man's rights. A man technically
Yes.
have
Yes.
little or no rights over here. And so if the woman says XYZ, the man would have to look for compelling evidence to actually refute that allegation. So, and I don't like to get involved in such things. So I'd rather stay to one side. And
I understand.
so it makes it very
I
difficult to
understand.
parent. Yeah.
It's okay. I won't push too much. That's your private life. But I really hope you get the support, all the support that you need to raise the one that is with you. I hope you get all the support you need. Meanwhile, I was going to ask you what made you fall in love with the culture, but I don't need to ask you that anymore. You've told me plenty. So I won't ask you that anymore. So I have one final question. Oh, is it the final question? Okay, one more question before the final question. Apart from vibing to Ekpe music, what else are you doing, for the culture? Are you teaching your child how to speak a language? How are you coping without home food? I know that's your home too, but you grew up here. How are you doing? Do you get to cook a fang soup or efere kong or ekpang kuko? How are you doing? Or you're now used to the UK life?
Um, First of all, let me start with teaching my children. I must
Okay,
admit, I am not a very good teacher.
okay.
I think I give it up to teachers. They are very patient. I don't see myself as someone that's patient, even though I've been told the contrary at work. And I say to them, when I leave home, I wear this professional cape where I need to behave in a professional manner. And therefore, that patience must come whether I like it or yes. But at home, I don't have that patience. So teaching my other children, their mom, I believe, would be doing that because she speaks Efik round the clock.
Okay.
And when I was m- more active in their life, in their upbringing, they used to pick up some Efik words. Now, the younger one I have at home with me at the moment, she's just over 2 years old, but she's still trying to speak English. So introducing Efik to it
Okay.
might just push my patience to the limit at this point. So I'll wait for
Yes,
her
so give us some
to
time.
yes, to get used to her English first and be able to get her strings of words together, sentences, and so on. And then we will get there. So, number two,
Okay.
Regarding food, I'll start off by saying you can take the man out of the bush, but you can't take the bush out of the man. And that's a typical definition
True.
of me. I am not. I
True.
don't think I can get used to eating any other food apart from food and good. So,
So there's African there.
sorry, what did you say?
So there's African food there. You can find all the vegetables and
Yeah,
fee and the rest
yeah,
of the
yeah,
things.
yeah. It's just
Okay.
very, very,
That's
very,
that's,
very
that's
expensive.
encouraging for people that might plan to japa.
It's very expensive. So I'll give you an example. Recently, I saw someone post. A friend of mine posted a picture of water leaves and said this is now 1,500 or so naira, and it was very small.
Yeah.
And I showed that to my partner. By the way, my partner is white. She's the one that does all this cooking. So she cooks all this soup. So I showed it to her and said to her,
She cooks African food.
yeah, I'm coming to that very soon.
Interesting.
So I showed to her and said to her, by the way, this is 1,500 naira in Nigeria. Can you believe? And she said, how much is that in
In pound.
pound? And I said to her, it's less than £1. And she couldn't believe herself. She said, you won't buy that amount of water leaf for £5. And that now converted, that is over 10,000 naira equivalent. Yet it is 1,500 naira in Nigeria. So you can tell when things are exported into the UK, the prices rack up rapidly.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, so she does the cooking. So what I tend to do, how she's managed to learn how to cook is thank God to all the YouTubers that have been posting how to cook. So I send it to her and she watches the videos. She comes back, asks me the questions. So I go and get the raw materials most of the time. When I've got time, if I don't have time, I'll say to her, go to so shop, ask them for this and pronounce it this way, or write it down. I will write it down and ask her to request. And then she comes back and she does all that. So the only thing she hasn't done for me is Ipang, because, like, Ipang Koko is time consuming. You really need time to
It's
cook
time
that. And
consuming, but
we
then
don't have that time.
that means there's cocoyam. That means you can find pong
There's
there and
Ikong
ibre.
here, there's Ebake, there's Bia, there's everything. Everything you want. Everything. Momo Ikong, drink,
Interesting.
Atama, Editan, everything is here.
That's encouraging. Even though it's expensive, at least you can lay your hands on those things. When you crave them, you can just sacrifice at least just to
You
taste
could
something
you
from
can
home.
do that. And moreover, maybe I might be advertising for this business now. I hope they thank me later on.
Okay, go
We
ahead.
do have Canaan restaurants in London, which when I
Okay.
crave a pankukwo, I'll go there and buy
And
two,
just
three plates.
eat and feel,
Two, three plates. Eat
fulfill
one
your
plate, put the rest
cravings,
in my
satisfy your
exactly.
cravings.
Put the rest in my
Okay.
freezer and so on and fridge. But yeah, so we do have them here. The only thing I miss is 404. I can't get it here, whether I like it or not. It can't be exported to me.
What?
404.
What?
404.
Fall for no now. They were arrested.
They will arrest you. It depends. It depends. If the authorities are listening to me, good luck to them. I do
Okay.
bring 404 into the country sometimes. It's meat. It's meat. So
They allow
it's not
you.
written,
They allow you
but it's
take
not
it
written on the
through the
container I
airport.
put it in as 404. So it could be any meat. It could be goat. It could be lamb. It could be cow.
So you
It's
just say
it's
it's
meat.
beef.
Whatever. Go take it to the lab if you want. If you've got the time and energy, by all means, take it to the lab. So so yeah, I've brought it in a few times. And people do bring in bush meats here as well. The rule here is, I think if you bring it in for personal consumption, you may be allowed to come in. But if you bring it here for um to go
For
into
sale.
business, selling, you understand, commercial purposes, then that's when the government will get their hook on you and you'll have to explain yourself. They'll probably confiscate it and hit you with a big fine. Are you there?
Okay, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Yeah. That's all right.
Okay, so let me just put this out here, oh, please. I export African food just in case you want to buy food stuff in bulk or you have friends that want to buy. I export food stuff, but that will be just for another day. It's just because we're talking
Okay.
about
Good to
food,
know.
so I just
Yeah.
had to say
Good to
it.
know.
Okay, so have you been visiting home, or do you plan to visit home anytime soon? I think that's about the last question I have to ask you.
I do visit home as often as I can. The type of job I do is very demanding. I'm a clinical practitioner,
Okay.
so it's very demanding. And as a result, we are busy chasing the paper because we've got bills to
True.
pay.
It's important,
And
yeah.
and by the time I take 2 weeks break to go to Nigeria, it's I'm not a businessman, so I'm not making huge amounts of money, and therefore it's a big chunk of my savings that I'm pulling out to make that trip to Nigeria. That's if my employer would let me, because
And of course, when you come, you know
they
you
need to release
spend.
me. Sorry, say that again. I,
I said, and you know, when you come to Nigeria, you're
I
going
will
to
I will
spend.
give
You're
you an
going to spend a
example.
lot.
The amount of money I spend a week in Nigeria is roughly okay. The amount of money I spend in 2 weeks in Nigeria is roughly less than what I spend a month in the UK.
Wow.
So, and that's to do
So
with
you have to plan that trip and do it once in a while.
exactly that's to do with you're visiting these people, you're visiting the other people, and everybody is thinking that in UK we pick money on the street. So
You brought money.
obviously, it's
Yeah.
like let's drink, let's eat. So it's all like you can say it's partying round the clock. So it's like yeah, kita na mebwa, yeah, I don't this year, why don't song, yeah, I tell you where you buy, yeah, I would put, yeah, I would now, all those sort of things. And people are drinking, and most people, it's like they've seen you once in a blue moon. Everybody wants to drink brandy, whereas normally they want to drink beer. What's that other beer called?
Three, three,
Champion.
star,
Three, exactly.
champion.
That's what they'll be drinking.
Champion today.
Which is exactly which is just it's cheaper if I were to buy this one. But then let's call it spade a spade. It's nice to be around your people, and if you're going to celebrate with them, make them happy, everybody's merry. That's great. It's
Spend
life.
money.
It doesn't happen every day, so I was there last. I was last in night in Calabar in 2021. So I
Okay,
think
that's not too
I'm
long.
overdue a visit. No, overdue a visit.
Okay, no
So
problem. Let
so
me quickly go through the comments. Sorry, go ahead, please.
before 2010, I used to visit like every year. I'll come in at least once a year. Then I was
Okay.
in a then I was in a different role, work wise.
Okay, so
But now,
it wasn't this demanding.
no, it wasn't this demanding and this restrictive. So the role I'm in is quite restrictive. So I don't know. Maybe some of the things I've said might even get me into trouble. Who knows?
No, 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 no. I'm not sure you said anything bad.
It's not saying anything bad, but you
Okay.
understand. It's like I'll tell you, the people here, because the most people keep dogs as pets. Most people even describe them as family members. So if they understand what 4 is, or go and research, research what 4 is, you probably can tell the way they'll be looking at me at work.
No, you can't. It's bush dog we eat here now. We don't eat pet dogs. We eat bush dogs. We don't eat pet dogs.
It's still
So they will
it's still
understand.
woof woof.
You have a
It's still
defense.
woof woof. Well, that's a good defense. I'll try that.
Okay, so let me quickly look at the comment section just in case there's a question for you. Someone said Isugi, that's where my maternal grandma was from. Okay. Someone said knock knock. Afyong Det is here. I am loving this conversation. Dan Buru, ha ha ha. Someone laughed. And then someone said, Mafyong, let him speak Ifuk. I think you've spoken Ifuk a couple of times. But before you go, please do one Ikpe song for us. You cannot
I
leave us
don't
like
have I
that.
don't have the voice.
Please.
I don't have
No,
the
you have to
voice.
try. Please.
I can only sing
No, we
alongside.
don't mind.
I can only sing alongside
Okay, which one? I'll sing with you.
the music. Hang on 1 second. Let me. I'll probably have to
That
get the
I
music
know.
off. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, just give me a second. Let me see. I don't have a good voice, so forgive me.
No, we don't mind. You didn't sing with you didn't sing like a nightingale when we saw your video, so it's fine.
Yeah. Let me see. Which song am I going to bring in? Is it Peter Efik or his sons? I don't remember who sang this song.
Okay, while you are looking for the song, someone said, I don't know if you have said anything about your secondary school days. Yes, he did. He mentioned Henshaw Town. He schooled in Henshaw Town. Then at some point he went to Port Harcourt and then he came back to Henshaw Town. So he spoke about it.
Can you hear the music in the
We're still
background?
waiting for the song. Eh?
You want Ekpe song, not an Efik song.
Which song then?
Can you hear the song in the background? Can you hear the song playing?
No, I'm not hearing. I can't hear it. I can now, but it's not very loud. Okay.
I think this song was sung by Peter Effiong's band after Peter Effiong
Okay.
passed away. I think so.
Okay. Hey. Oh, mommy. Oh. I've heard the song before, but I don't know the lyrics. I only know Amamio, Amamio. Thank you so much.
Amanio, 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 Amanio.
Amamio, Amamio, Amamio.
I think you should call it small body movement. Please let me just read my song.
No, this one
I
is
have to laugh
perfect.
over this.
Thank you.
Somebody asked, sorry that I would have to. Let me just respond to one of the questions in the comment section. Somebody
Comment.
said something
Okay.
about Efik Association in the UK.
Yes, I was going to ask you that. She said, if there's none, are you planning to start any?
I have heard that there is one. When I first
Okay.
came here in 2002, I heard that there was um, an Efik Association, but I have lost touch with the person that was trying to tell me and invite me over. So at that time, I was unable to follow up. But now that I'm more settled, um, I, I can't find the person. So once I am able to make contact, I'll join that group.
Join.
But in terms of being a member of EHF, Efik Heritage Foundation, we do have a few members here in the UK. I'm planning to actually meet up with them. I think there's four of us so far at the moment. That number should be
Okay.
growing in the next coming weeks and months. So
Okay, that's cool. And I'm very happy. I'm happy that we're able to have this conversation. And this is encouraging for people, even people here in Nigeria that are dulling, on this ship. Please come on board. There is a Heritage Foundation. You can join us so that we can continue to, extend our reach and, put our culture out there. Let the whole world see. You're such a perfect example of Ima for Iman. Thank you very much. I'm grateful that you came through.
thank
I'm
you too.
done with
Thank
all
you
my
for having
questions,
me.
or except you have something else to say.
No, I'm
Do you
just
have any
looking
other
at
thing
what
to say?
I'm just looking at what A Detective McMahon has just written. It says there is a
There
Calabar
is
Union.
called Calabar
Yeah,
Union.
there is. It's called Calabar Union. You can contact Mrs. Hen Young.
the
How
founder
would
of
I
the
contact?
BA.
Yeah, how would I be able to contact her?
I
I hope
know
she's
one
on
Hensi
Facebook.
Effiong on Facebook. I think I
Okay,
have one Hensi Effiong on Facebook. Maybe that's the person he's talking about.
okay. I would have a look on Facebook and see. Other than that,
Okay.
what else do I have to say? Um, life. Life is life. Life. Just the experience of life is different from everybody, and it's it can be difficult. There's ups and downs. We just need to persevere. Um, I love Calabar. I can't come to Nigeria without visiting Calabar. So there's no way I'll be in Nigeria and not visit Calabar.
Yeah,
Um,
we look forward to your next visit.
and it's 404 on the table on the cards
Of
as soon as I
course.
arrive and fresh pabi, wherever that is coming
Of
from.
course. Of course.
And I think that's it basically. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, someone said he has Mrs. Hensi Effiong's contacts. I will get it and I'll send it to you on WhatsApp
Oh,
after
please,
this
I'll really
session.
appreciate it. Yeah, if you're happy to do that, I'll be grateful.
I will do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right. I can say
Thank you
thank you
very
a
much,
hundred times.
everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you everyone
Thank
for
you for
joining.
having
I'm
me.
grateful. All
All
right. I
right,
hope
bye
we'll
bye
do this
now.
some other time.
Yes, I'm happy to join again.
Okay. Enjoy
Thank
the
you very
rest
much.
of your evening, please.
All right,
And
you
my love
take care.
to your daughter.
And love to your family as well. Thank you. Take care.
All right.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Good night. Bye.
Good night. Bye bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.